What's up? I'm Dylan Hughes. We're out here at Formula Drift St. Louis, and I'm going to do a whip check on this BMW E46 with Dylan Hughes. So this is my 2005 BMW E46. It's actually a non-M chassis originally, but there really isn't any differences as soon as you start to change suspension points and turn this thing into a pro drift car. So this is a 3-liter inline six, it's a 2JZ out of a Toyota Supra. 10-to-1 compression, we have CP pistons in it, we have Bryan Cryer rods. It's actually a factory crank, and we have Griant Power 264 camshafts in it. All SuperTech valve train in the engine. It makes about 940 wheel horsepower right now. We spray about 110 shot of nitrous through it, which essentially just spools the turbo. The nitrous will hit at 3,000 RPM, 40% throttle, and it will spray up to 22 pounds of boost and shut off. So really, the nitrous is just to shock that massive Garrett turbo to life so that the car is like, kind of feels like a V8, but then it still has that turbo power band that takes off at the top. So this is my second year on this engine package, and it's really, really, really gnarly. Like every time I get out of it, it's an experience for sure. It's scary. Every time you get out of it, you're shaking, which is a little bit weird. This thing is probably one of the wildest rigs I have ever driven, and 30 pounds of boost and 950 wheel horsepower almost. It's pretty terrifying. So it has an ACT triple disc clutch in it. It's an Andrews NASCAR 4-speed transmission, drive shaft shop carbon fiber drive shaft to a Winner's Performance 10-inch quick change differential with drive shaft shop axles. I get a lot of questions about the timing cover on the front of the engine. This is a blue woven carbon fiber timing cover, actually custom made in China. So Chris Forsberg and I went to China, and he drove for a team over there, and they had those custom made. So I have all sorts of people asking me about these all the time, and they don't actually sell them in the United States. It's a one-off custom made piece. So that's something that you probably won't really see unless somebody else in the States makes them. Hypertune inlet manifold, pretty much one of the most baller looking pieces on it. I think it was definitely like the bling factor on top to really set the engine off. I really like it. It's a Doc Race exhaust manifold, Garrett G42 1200 turbo, about 33 pounds of boost depending, and it's a Turbo Smart 60mm wastegate. We got the coolant running to the back of the car, so the radiator's in the trunk, it's just the intercooler in the front. I have one belt on the front of the engine, so it just goes around the crankshaft and then around the alternator, and that's it, because it has electric power steering and then an electric water pump, which are both mounted underneath the rear of the car. And yeah, so it's been great to us, super reliable, and I love it so far. Yeah, right on, man. I mean, that thing is sick. It definitely looks good. I like the way it looks. The blue is absolutely the cherry on top for me. I freaking love it. Let's check the inside out real quick. All right, so pretty clean on the inside of this thing. First thing I noticed, looks like a custom built roll cage. So I see these A-pillars nice and stitch welded in there, and a couple of pretty clean little bits in there, a little carbon fiber here. Tell me a little bit about the inside of this thing. Yeah, so a lot of fabric went into this thing, and to be completely honest with you, the whole thing was done by myself or my father. Every single weld that has been added to this chassis was all me. So the roll cage was custom built myself, so it's all hand bent. MIG welded the whole thing together. Andrews 4-speed dog box, ACD triple disc clutch. The engine management on this thing, it's a Link Thunder ECU. Link has been really awesome to me, helping me out getting this 2JZ running absolutely perfect. No complaints at all. The chassis and engine harness is actually from Hartsock Racing Unicorn Garage. Did a phenomenal job building a custom chassis harness and engine harness for the whole thing. I got tilt and floor mount pedals in this car, which I absolutely love. Kind of gives it a really nice feel. Was able to push my seat way back and kind of get the weight balance exactly what I wanted in the car. These are carbon Kevlar Recaro seats. These are the Pro Racer Spa Hans. I have an XL as the passenger and a Skinny Boy for the driver. This seat holds me in really nice. It's my favorite seat of all time, and I absolutely love these. This is a 7-inch Link display systems. Lots of vitals from the engine, keeping that information coming. Got to keep it big right in front of my face so I don't miss it, because once you're drifting, it's kind of hard to look away from drifting, you know what I mean? So hydraulic handbrake. This is a Chris Forsberg Racing. The handle itself is billet. And I actually have the firewall is right behind the main hoop on this car, and really I wanted to do that because I wanted to utilize a lot of the real estate that's in the trunk, so I could kind of mount the nitrous bottles and the battery and the cool suit and pretty much everything back there, just to try to get the weight as best I possibly could. So that's why I ended up putting the bulkhead right here to completely just separate the back of the car. So yeah, so HGK doors on this thing, so fiberglass doors with a carbon fiber insert. You know, pretty much a battered bone everywhere you look. That's the way I do it. Right on, man. Well, I'm really liking everything I see so far. Let's check the back out real quick. All right, so keeping it kind of nice and simple in the back of this thing. Notice some little, looks like these bash bars are separated per side, which is kind of cool. A radiator in the trunk. Tell me a little bit about the back of this thing. So yeah, each one of the bash bars is removable per side because on a drift car, you're only gonna get hit in the corners, and I really just wanted to be able to replace these bash bars per side, so we don't have one bar in the back, so it's just a little bit easier to replace. Fully custom tube structure here in the back with the sway bar mount and everything, radiator mount in the back, Mishi motor radiator with some Mishi fans, factory BMW bumper, blade style sway bar that connects to the BC Racing shocks on this thing. We've got some Par-Shot Max control arms in the back, Par-Shot Max rear strut brace, Radium Engineering 10-gallon fuel cell. It's a FCST drop-in, so it's got 3 pumps inside of there, keeping that 2JZ fed with fuel. And then we have our 15-pound nitrous bottle right over here on this side, trying to offset the weight from the driver a little bit. And the car actually has an exactly hilariously perfect weight balance. It's exactly 50-50 with me sitting in it, which is pretty cool. Full of fuel and nitrous and all that stuff. So this car is definitely something I spent a lot of time working on. It was mostly myself, and then Dad came in to kind of help me finish it off. It took us about 7 months to build it. So definitely an investment to build this car, and I'm extremely proud of it. And I really enjoy driving it. It's one of the scariest, most terrifying cars I've ever driven in my life, and I absolutely love it that way. So look forward to kicking some ass this weekend, and hopefully it goes well. Right on, man. Well, it does look pretty good, I will say that, and best of luck to you this weekend. Thank you for watching Row Purple's Whip Check.